Good morning, everybody. It's Michael here with your latest supply and demand market report. Hope you're all well. This video is going to be looking at the indices from around the world, as we do in these videos. Just a reminder before we start that these videos are purely for educational purposes and not an indication or recommendation for you to buy or sell. Okay, so we'll start with Japan. So here we are with the Nikkei 225, and as we can see on the Nikkei, it's still quite strong. It had a strong week this week, although the close was still within the close from the previous week. We had sellers at some point during the week try to sell it down, but it's being bought into demand in this area on the weekly. It's still quite parabolic for me. As you'll see if we zoom in here on the daily chart, we're still looking for these areas down here. Ultimately, if we continue to base in this region, let me take off that magnet. If we continue to base in this region and we break out, new demand zones, I should say, will be formed. We are above all-time highs. I'm looking more though for a retest of that previous all-time high to see if that will carry us higher. That's for me the higher probability trade. So it's quite strong and it remains strong. It just hasn't come into areas where we would be interested in buying. If you're trading shorter term on the daily chart, you'll notice we have removed some demand there. So there might be an attempt by sellers, as there has been actually in the last couple of days of last week, to try and sell it down. But as I said, buyers are still coming in and wanting to buy up this market. So it's still a watch, and we'll see how it plays out going forward. And we come to Germany, and as we discussed the last time we were together, the lines are still there, the boxes are still there. It's still caught in its range. It has rallied from the lows. This was Monday last week, and it's rallied strongly back up near the upper part of that range, but it's still boxed in. So it's still a period of consolidation that the market is, buying and selling, a trading range, and we'll see how it all ends. But for now, it's also a watch. Nothing much happening, unless of course you are trading smaller time frames intraday, in which case you would have been buying and selling, buying near the lows and selling near the highs, and that has worked so far. Okay. And the Russell 2000, so the Russell 2000 came into this supply, which we said was within a trading range in itself, and it did rally down. We talked about this area being the boxed area where it rallied out of, this green area here on the weekly, and as you will see on the daily, it came into an area of demand right there. And that's what it's been using to rally out again. So that on its own is quite interesting, that the buyers are not waiting for it to come deeper before they jump on board and try to catch the run. And they have had a successful trade so far, buying as it retested the breakout region at the bottom of the range here. So it's indicative, at least for now, that buying strength is beginning to come in, and the sellers are beginning to be stopped at higher levels. They're not allowing the sellers to carry prices lower anymore. They're stopping them at higher levels. It's still within the overall range, as you see here, but they are not letting them go further. So there may be strength coming in. We still have work to do, though, to clear out these supplies, and in particular this high. This high here on the weekly. I speak of this one. So if we can get through those, then it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But for now, also, it's another index that is on the watch list. They're pretty much most of them on that watch list, as we say. Same thing with the FTSE 100. It came to the bottom of the range that we marked out from last week, and we got buyers stepping in into that area, and they started to buy it up all of last week. The ranges were not big or great, but they did come in towards the lower end of the range, as we would expect. And it's now a question of, can they carry it, or will these supply zones begin to take a toll? These are probably the most, improbable zones for now, because they are really within the range. They're not the kinds of zones that we would take. But if this market is going to start tanking, they're going to hold. If they break, we'll still remain within the range. So the higher probability trade right now, despite there being supply above, because of the bigger picture being in the range, is to look for buying opportunities, because it's a case of, again, buy low and selling high. These are not high enough, not in this range. Okay. And the NASDAQ, though slightly weaker this week compared to the S&P and I think the Dow, but it is still up. It is still definitely up. We've had an outside week, and it's closed up. So buying has also come in. It's beginning to stall at areas where we would expect after taking out that supply area. It's beginning to stall as it gets closer to these upper levels, in here. But it's not falling, which is also telling. It's not falling, it's consolidating. Attempts to take it down are being bought with buying pressure, which puts these supply zones up here at significant risk. As you've probably heard me mention in these videos, it's quite aggressive to be selling as a market has taken a direction to the upside, or buying when a market has taken a direction to the downside. Even if you have little pauses, if you're really not quick and hoping that you've caught the top and wanting to carry it down, you often get disappointed. So just bear that in mind. It's a watch for now, nothing to do just yet. And finally, Australia, nothing to do as well. Caught in the middle, still in that box, not gone anywhere of significant. For Australia, we haven't even gotten to the lower end of its box, which would be that area. We're pretty much really in the middle of the middle, which is a very dangerous place to be putting money at risk or to work. So just bear that in mind. So it's watching. Also, we've gone around the world. We've gone to Japan, Germany, America, the UK, and now Australia. And they're all, not quite set up. Many are in trading ranges, looking for a direction, and some have already picked a direction and are not pulling back yet. That's the summary of what we've just gone through. So I hope you find it helpful. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to click the like button if this is useful for you. If you wanted to ask any questions or make any recommendations of something else we should add, put it in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Speak to you again soon. Bye.